Once upon a time, in a kingdom far away, there lived a wise and just king. This king possessed many treasures, golden crowns, precious jewels, and a tall castle with silver towers. But more than anything, he was proud of his beautiful royal garden. This garden was like something out of a fairy tale. And right in the center of this enchanted garden stood one very special tree, a tree like no other, not even in books of magic. On its branches grew apples that glowed like tiny suns. They were golden, truly golden. This tree was the king's greatest pride. Every evening he would come to gaze upon it and say to himself, "Who else has a tree like mine? Surely such a treasure grows nowhere else in the world." But one night something strange happened. In the morning, when the gardener came into the garden as usual, he walked towards the magical tree with the golden apples, but suddenly stopped and frowned. That can't be right," he mumbled under his breath. He looked closely at the branches and began to count the golden apples. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9. 9, but there were 10 of them. One golden apple has disappeared. Who would dare such a thing? He ran to the king, completely flustered. "Your Majesty, one golden apple went missing during the night." The king frowned. "That's not possible. Who would dare to steal from the royal garden? Post the guard, immediately. We must find out who the thief is." And so the king declared, "Each night someone will stand guard by the tree until we find out who is stealing my apples." As the sun set behind the horizon, the gardener's eldest son put on his coat, took a lantern, and stood before his father. "Father," he said confidently, "I'll find out who it is. I won't let the thief escape." He sat down on the bench beside the tree, leaned back, and at first he watched the treetops. He listened to the silence of the night, the crickets playing their evening song, the grass whispering in the breeze. But the darker the night grew, the harder it was to keep his eyes open. "I'll just close them for a moment," he mumbled sleepily. But it didn't take long, and he fell asleep, deeply and soundly. And when he woke up in the morning, another golden apple was gone. The gardener only shook his head in disappointment and sent out his second son the next night. Determined, the second son sat on the bench beneath the tree. "I'm not like my brother. Nothing will get past me." He kept watch for hours, his eyes sharp like a hawk's. But the quiet of the night, the star above, and the soft rustling of the leaves slowly lulled him to sleep. And in the end, he too dozed off. And in the morning, one more apple gone. The gardener was dismayed. What will I tell the king?" Just then the youngest son stepped forward, a small, quiet boy with a spark in his eyes. "Father, let me try," he said. "I have good hearing and sharp eyes. Maybe I'll be lucky. I want to get to the bottom of this." The gardener hesitated. But you are still so young." Then he smiled. "Or maybe you'll be the one to surprise us all," the gardener said. "Sometimes the quietest ones carry the greatest strength within." And so, that night, the youngest son sat beneath the tree. He didn't sit on the bench like his brothers, but right on the ground, his back against the tree, eyes wide open and ears alert. The night was calm. The leaves rustled gently, and an owl hooted in the distance. Then suddenly, a faint rustle, a soft screech. A golden shadow swooped down from the branches. It was the bird. It glowed all over. Its feathers sparkled like morning dew in the sunlight. It landed on the highest branch and reached its beak toward the golden apple. The youngest son froze. He didn't even breathe. Slowly he reached for his bow, but instead of an arrow, he placed a small silver bell. He aimed and shot. The bell gave a gentle jingle and startled the bird. It flapped its wings and flew off into the night. But from its tail, one gleaming golden feather came loose and floated down through the air. It landed softly right into the boy's hand. "So you are the one stealing our golden apples," the boy whispered. "At least now I know what we are looking for." In the morning, the gardener found the boy beneath a tree, holding the feather in his hand. Excited, the boy told him everything that had happened. The gardener was moved. "My son, you are truly brave. We must tell the king." And so the golden feather was brought to the king. When he saw it, he sighed deeply. "A bird like that! If only I had it, the whole world would admire it. Go out into the world and find it," he commanded firmly. "Whoever brings me the bird shall receive a great reward." And so the gardener's sons decided to set off on a journey. Each of them longed to find the rare bird and earn the king's reward. The eldest son put on his finest coat, packed a leather bag with food, and set off confidently. Before leaving, he turned to his father. "Father, I'll be back with the bird in a week," he declared heroically. As the eldest gardener's son walked through the forest, a fox with a fiery tail suddenly crossed his path. He stopped, surprised, and was about to shoo her away, but the fox spoke. "Wait, young man, I see where you are heading. If you are looking for the golden bird, I can help you, but you must listen to me." "And what do you suggest?" he asked mockingly. The fox quickly explained. "Along the way, you'll come across 2 inns, one beautiful, full of music and dancing, the other old, quiet, and run down. Go to the plain one, or you'll stray from your path." The eldest son frowned. "To that shabby place? Not a chance. I'm no beggar." When he reached the crossroads, he did indeed see a splendid, lively inn. He didn't hesitate for a second. The smell of food, the music, he couldn't resist. So he sat down, ate, drank, and forgot everything, even the golden bird. When the eldest son didn't return home for a long time, the middle son decided to follow his tracks and find out what had happened to him. He too was stopped by the fox. "Young man," the fox spoke, "if you want to find the golden bird, listen to me. Choose the shabby inn, otherwise you will lose your way." The boy smirked. "You know what, fox? I know what I'm doing. Don't worry about me." And when he saw the beautiful inn, his eyes lit up. He stepped inside, and just like his brother, he gave into the fun, the good food, and the dancing. He too forgot why he had set out on the journey in the first place. At last, it was the youngest son's turn. "Father, now let me try," he said. "Maybe I'll be able to find not only the golden bird, but also my brothers." The gardener looked at him with concern, gently placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "You're the youngest, but you have a brave heart. Very well, go, but be careful." And so the youngest son set out into the world with courage in his heart and hope in his eyes. But many trials still await him. What do you think, friends? Will the youngest son also meet the mysterious fox on his journey? And will he listen to her advice, or make the same mistake as his brothers? I'll tell you all about it in the second part of the story, The Golden Bird. With love, your Panda Millie.